Yeah. Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. My name is Antonia Valaire, and it has been a while, so I will try to be consistent. So this is an exclusive interview that I will be having with my Trinidadian friend Nerukhi. I've known him for many years, so I'm just waiting for his call. He told me 7:30, so yeah, next 8 minutes, I guess. And it's blazing hot here in Jamaica. Yeah, so if you always see me a wipe, that's because it's hot, very hot. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Those who are new, welcome. Those who are just joining for the first time, welcome. My channel will be mostly about poetry discussions because I'm a poet, I'm an author, so I write books. So that would be the plan, definitely. Now let's see how it goes. Yeah, so let's wait for 7 minutes. Kind of feeling nervous, I'm not sure why. Not the first time doing an interview, but I guess it's gonna be cracking. Let me see. Oh, my aunt, she just messaged me, but I'm kind of not gonna be taking any calls or any message. All right, so the plan going forward, since I'm on now, would be definitely every Tuesday at 10 a.m., where I will be having my further conversations. Yeah, so that definitely starting up back. So that's the plan. And then, yeah, as I said, let's see what goes from there in. Oh, place within a stream. Oh, I should show you guys this if I can see. So this is my poet shirt, People of Extraordinary Talent. If you want a if you want a shirt, you can definitely go on their site. And People of Extraordinary Talent is an organization that deals with arts and culture, but they also do volunteerism and stuff like that. I recently joined like last year, yeah, and I won like 2 awards from them, so that was a great honor. Yeah, so you can check out their website. People of Extraordinary Talent are the founder, Black Ice. He's a very well known poet in Chicago. Yeah. So if you're interested in poetry, you can check out that site. If you're interested in the shirt, the merch, because it's very cool, very strong, you can definitely check that out. Hey Jeffrey, what's up? Jeffrey is early. So Jeffrey, the plan is like he said he's gonna call me 7:30, so I have like 5 more minutes. So I was just, chilling and tell what my plan next for this channel because I've had it for many years and never really did anything much. So the plan is to start doing my Verna conversations back again, help build up the channel. And so we have 100 subscribers, like big up, like people like tuning in and support. So some people that might sound small, like 100, but to me, small beginnings, it gotta cherish that because everybody have to start somewhere, right? And for 100 people to subscribe and always support my thing, big up the fans, big up the family, most definitely. That is a big plus. Definitely, I appreciate that. And people have been supporting my work, especially on Facebook and stuff like that. So big thanks. There's even some people like even Jeffrey. I don't know Jeffrey personally, but I mean, Jeffrey, I guess he was drawn to my work, and from there on, he's like, you just support. And the thing is, I support a lot of people work. Like, you know, I support people things because I just love arts and culture. So I just support like even sometimes like my poet's friend, like even if I'm not performing, it don't matter to me. Like if them performing, yeah. Yeah, big up Jeffrey. Yeah, he was 100 recently and then level so it's 100 level subscribers. Oh, answer. Hey Nerukhi.
My sister.
Yeah, what's up?
Right. Okay. So you stay on the line. Okay. In a minute or two, I'm going to jack you in.
Yeah.
We will start the interview. Right.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Great.
So thank you, Jeffrey, for tuning in and supporting. Definitely appreciate that. Right. Hope you enjoy the interview. Yeah, it's showtime, most definitely.
Am I the only one hurting? Where has everyone gone? Close mouth, keep silence. Well, no more. If I won't be alone, I must. To stand for truth, God's truth. To stand for justice, not to withdraw. I will pay the consequences. Am I in fear? Sure, it's a human sensitivity, but it's true fear that courage is built. Can't I withstand? At least I will try. But I can take, and everyone will know that I spoke out. And that's
Yeah. You just heard from Jamaican poet Antonia Valaire. And before I bring her on, let me just give you a little bit of background. She is a Jamaican poet, Christina Williams, and her stage name, Antonia Valaire. She's a poet, a spoken word performer, and a multi-award winning author. She is a nominee for the 39th International Reggae and World Music Awards in the category of Matubaruka Best Poet / Spoken Word. She's a native from Port More, St. Catherine. Big up St. Catherine tonight. A graduate of Spanish Town High School. She has won a Certificate of Excellence at Sabrita Masters Award for 2020. International Spoken Word Artist of the Year for 2020 by the People of Extraordinary Talent Organization. All right. Antonia has a BA degree with honors in history and philosophy from the University of the West Indies. Her book, Pearls Among Stones, received the Prime Minister's National Youth Award for Excellence in Arts and Culture. She received a major award from the Jamaican Youth Empowerment, Culture, Arts and Nationalism Organization. She's also the author of Black Gold and Out of Babylon System, Liberation of the Mind. According to Grenville Ashby, PhD, book reviewer and being a columnist, he states, no doubt, and this is unquote, Williams has sealed her place in one of the region's as one of the region's most compelling artists. Our culture, our vibe family. Let's welcome our friend tonight, Antonia. My sister, are you on the line?
Yes, most definitely. Greetings and salutations to everyone that is listening.
How are you going, my sister?
Well, I'm definitely blessed to be alive and well. So we're always giving God thanks for that, because that's definitely one of the greatest gifts to have in this time and, and beyond. So, but
oh, yes.
But me still hot because I live in Portmore. So Portmore is also known as the Sunshine City. So it's always blazing hot here. It's a very hot weather, heated.
Okay. They call it the Sunshine City, right?
Yes.
Is that why you're always so bright and cheerful as well?
It could be. I mean, it could be, but definitely, you get personality from your parents, and it's just, I guess, environment, life experience. It bring life, and when you have life, to me, is how you see life and how you interact, and so. But I'm a lively person. I like to think positive, and despite going through a lot of things, sometimes you share your story and people are surprised that you go through those stuff, because you're always so lively, as you say, always so positive.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's not the challenges that we go through, but how we deal with the challenges, right?
Yes, most definitely.
It's really a privilege to chat with you tonight.
Yes.
We would have met a few years ago on one of those online sites where both of us, I think, we're trying to promote the good stuff that we have been doing.
Yeah.
And it's really a blessing and a privilege that after all these years we've remained in contact. Supporting each other and all the good things.
That's so true. I think it was Gavin Luke is his name. I think it's plenty of talent. I think that's the site.
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah, Gavin is a great guy. Always looking for opportunities to support the local and Caribbean artists. I really hope he's on tonight. Because it's really a blessing having you on, and I know he has also featured you in his publications. Right?
Yes.
But tell us what makes Antonia tick. What makes you some of the shaping factors that would have caused you to evolve into that which you are right now and continue to evolve.
Wow, I mean, it's almost like you asked me for my life story. I mean, there's so many things, like from birth. I am one of those child that was first pronounced dead, and then they were planning to wash me out of my mom's womb, but a doctor came in and said, oh, leave this child alone. She's not dead. And as the story continues, as you can see, I'm alive and well today. So that's one of the things where I mean, I won't remember this because I'm a baby, but my mom told me the story, and other people in church tell me the story because they know it so well. And so that's an aspect why I think I appreciate life in so many ways, because for that to come to a baby, I mean, and you hear it just overwhelms you to see. And then the story is, after that, like a year after my father left, unfortunately, I don't know why he left. I mean, I don't know his story, but I can tell you that, when me growing up, I can tell you my experience growing up, that he didn't come around, and life was very difficult. It's like the normal story, the poverty in Jamaica and, in the Caribbean, and things that people go through. And then I went through discrimination in my community, amongst neighbors, not even fully understand why that happened. But as you get older, you get to understand that this life, people is not fair, and people is people, and people are suffering from different things, and sometimes they abuse people are in the same situation just like them. Because even Jamaica, like we can't even fully understand the murder rate. Like, why are people killing, especially their own people? Like, it makes no sense. And they're killing ridiculously for vanity. Like, nobody's carrying anything to their graves. So it makes no sense. The Bible tells us, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So, what are we killing for? We're there upon earth and just to give God praise and, fulfill God's purpose and definitely multiply earth. And it don't necessarily mean children alone. It means that you need to replant. See, the world is suffering from food shortage and all those things because mankind have not been doing their role. So these are things that I also, from an early age, I guess I was always a poet because from an early age, growing up, I noticed things as a youngster that probably youngsters never really noticed. Like when you're age 10, I was drawn to looking in my surrounding, realizing what my mother was going through. And immediately I said to myself, like, I don't want to stay in poverty and I don't want to add to what my mother is going through. I want to be, that child that take her out of poverty. And especially when I saw my brothers who were working very hard, like, Andre and Sean, these are my elder brothers. They didn't have opportunities like me. They began working very early, from an early age, selling ackee and selling lime and stuff like that and basket. So they were very entrepreneurial at the time. But we didn't have a choice because, it's survival and we didn't have any assistance from anybody. So I was looking on as a child and saying, "Wow, this is what my family have to go through." And then, there was time when we didn't have light and water. That's another thing. So these are things that make me tick. So I always looking on to see what's going on and saying, "Oh, this is the life that I'm living." And your experience, I'm saying experience teaches wisdom. So experience definitely it teach me a lot of things. So from an early age, I start meds things from early, and I was a kind of a shy child, a very mom overprotective. So and I was very shy. So the only thing left was to write and draw and paint and do all of those things. And I found solace in writing. So I have books even up to this day where I began writing like whole heap of poems and stuff like that. And it's just amazing when I read it back. I was like, is that was what I was thinking? I'm like, whoa, things deeply affect a child because I was writing things. I have even poems now that I perform now that I wrote at that age, and it's still relevant now because of the experience. And to me, it's one of the most powerful set of poems because they speak to a time and space and experience. And what I mean, when sometimes when I perform them, people are in tears because it's so real. So yeah, a lot of things make me tick. Yeah, so many things.
Okay, well, that was a lot. That was a lot. Let me take the opportunity to say a pleasant evening to your mom.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I saw a picture of her online the other day, and you were sharing her. She really looks like your big sister. Well.
Yeah. She aged like fine wine, as they say. A black dog crack.
Just give her a nice big hug from me, please.
Yes.
And yeah, I really want to big up your brothers, the rest of your family, and the support staff that you have, right?
Yeah.
Before you came on, I played one of your pieces, Silence.
Right.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your thought process and what would have motivated you to write that piece.
Whoa, Silence, it's one of my most powerful poems. And you know what's so funny about this? So I wrote Silence, and then I've never really I never thought of reciting it. And then I joined this institution, Vocational Training Development Institute, and I decided to join the drama class, and the creative director, Joel, he was like, so, what you do? And I'm like, a poet, and I've written the books. And he's like, oh, that's cool, I write the books. So I gave him my book, Pearls Among Stones, and he's like, okay, here's what I wanted to do. And he's like going through my book, and then he just pick on silence. He's like, oh, I wanted to study this and come back next week and recite. And I'm like, and at the time, I wasn't very good at reciting my own works. And I was like, so I was telling him, like, I'm not very good at this. Like, I stick to just looking at the book and just reading. Like, it's more safer not to get it wrong. I mean, it's a skill as well, because, you have to read it and, bring out the emotions. And he was like, oh, I'm not taking any excuses. And so, yeah. So I went home and I was like, this guy is putting me under pressure because I have schoolwork, and, he's telling me I need to go home and study this. But it was a good thing, because what's so important is that it allowed me, because sometimes you write your works and for me, it's like almost like I don't know the power sometimes of my own work, because I write so many things, and I publish it, and then is when you go back and read, and this is what happened. So I went back and read the work, and it really synced in my spirit, and I realized really why I wrote it. And as it speaks, it's when was silence a defense? When did we start to retreat? I'm asking questions, and I'm saying, I'm looking in my society, and I'm saying, when was murder accepted? Obviously murder is not accepted, but I mean, it comes like that because it become a norm. So I'm asking the question, and when have we laid down basically to just take it just like that? Because we are of African descent, and we are told that we are of the warrior tribe, like you hear about the Ashanti and the Zulu and these tribe, and I'm saying we are coming from great people, and we are basically laying down arms to take the slaughter basically. So I'm saying, we're just silent because people are not speaking up. For example, in America, it's like very common for them to speak out when they see injustice, or if there's a crime committed, they immediately somebody speak out, or they call cops. In Jamaica here, if you speak out, you might be called an informer, which makes no sense, because if you're an upright citizen, an upright citizen always defends justice. So you cannot be an informer. An informer to me would be like you're already a gunman, and then you're informing on your cronies. But an upright citizen to me can never be an informer. But that's kind of like the backward thinking. So people are afraid to speak up because you're being labeled as an informer. And then you might lose your life, and your family might lose their life for speaking up and defending what is right. And so the poem itself is a poem that is asking question. It is also providing answers to the same question that I'm asking, and it's very powerful in terms of the reflection of society, and that's what kind of silence is about. And I end it by saying that I will speak up and I will face the consequences, and silence was never my defense. So I'm telling you that silence will never be my defense when I speak up. There's a lot more to the poem.
You carry the warrior spirit, my sister.
Yes.
The spirit of the warrior, the spirit of Winnie Mandela, the spirit of all the great warrior queens of Africa. So I'm going to put you on the spot in a little bit. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, can you read one of your pieces for us, please?
No problem.
All right, so we take a short break and we'll be right back. We are chatting with none other than award-winning Jamaican poet Antonia Valaire, and you're listening to Just Good Vibes with Nerukhi. So we are back and we are live with Antonia Valaire. Antonia,
Yes.
Mike belongs to you.
So this piece that I will share is Youth Have Ambition, and it's definitely empowering youths to definitely have ambition. So just listen up. My youth, how you stay so? And what kind of behavior this? Who you are threatening about copper shot? Battlebrook tear gas face. You are behave like you are T-Rex. Wolfgang Jocular. Claim me a go for me juggler. But me want a man with syntax. Left inspire, hopeful, merciful. Me not behave like Freddy versus Jason or Grim Reaper. What it pay when all of them dead? So my youth, take up your pants in your hand, change up your ways, start act better, clean up your mind till your behavior match your tire. Youth, stop cheat yourself, rise up and go out and get some certification in a plumbing or construction. Go learn a skill if I know that are your plan. Then sell some fruits, cherry, mango, guava, or some grown provision. Yam, cocoa, banana, or jelly water for the people instructor. Youth, elevate yourself, elevate your mind. Don't confine, don't imprison. As some say we hopeless, worthless. This a generation of viper. Prove them wrong. We not take bad talk. Negativity we eliminate from the electrons to the neurons. Positive energy we are emit from our cranium. My youth, take a leaf out about records. Running the race must have a plan. Be the best of you, your version. Conquer nation till you conquer planet, till all the next generation will be a force to be reckoned with. Because you had ambition, made a plan, execution. No, you is an inspiration. Give thanks.
Yes, 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 yes. Antonia Valaire. Yes, so Antonia.
Yes.
So you are also an author.
Yes.
You wrote the book Pearls Among Stones, which received the Prime Minister's National Youth Award for Excellence in the Arts. You're also the author of Black Gold and Out of Babylon System, Liberation of the Mind. Tell us a little bit about your writings and what kind of successes you have had in terms of getting your writings out there into the international community, etc.
Well, so Pearls Among Stones, I wrote it when I was around like 20, and it was first published by Brian Rickson, who lives in Canada, by the way. And I don't know him personally. So it's one of those blessings where someone, across the sea basically saw my talent. And I came in contact with him, on Facebook. Facebook have definitely opened doors for me personally. And there was a time when I didn't have access to a laptop or internet. And so when I got the opportunity, when I got access to a computer and I began to write, I went on LinkedIn, for example, and I saw a poem, Facebook poem, and I liked the poem. And then the gentleman at the time, he responded, Alan Jankowski, he's now deceased. And he messaged me and he was saying, oh, thanks for liking my poem. And he started chatting me up and I was telling him I was a poet. And then he was like, can he add me on Facebook? I was very suspicious because I've heard about the internet and people and men and stuff like that. So I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, okay, I don't know this man, don't know his intention. And I'm thinking, should I share my Facebook information with him? But at the time, I just started Facebook, so there wasn't really like any picture or anything. So I was like, okay, there's not much on it, so there's no need to worry. So he added me, and before I know it, he started, telling, other poets about me. I eventually got into this book by Inner Child Press, World Healing, World Poetry. I was among a few poets that were in the book. And before I know it, other poets start adding me. And, and I started adding other poets, and so it became a circle of, you know, just adding a lot of poets, and that opened the door. So that's how I was connected to Brian Rickson, and I was published in several of his anthologies. And he said to me that it's time for me to publish a book, and I sent him a book, my manuscript, and he published it. And a year after, I was nominated from Prime Minister Youth Award. So it wasn't like long after. And I got nominated was from this young man named Simon Preston, which is another blessing again, because I didn't know who Simon Preston was. I was at school, UA at the time, just started school, and there was a classmate of mine, Yuchen, and Simon. They were arguing up some historical thing, and they were arguing, and they were annoying me pretty much, because they're arguing. So I decided to intervene to just squash it. And by intervening, I got to know Simon, and I showed him a book. But at the time, I didn't know that Simon was like this well-known guy. So I'm there, because I'm sometimes I'm blank. I don't always know people, because I don't generally just attach myself to people just because of who they know or their fame. I organically like to meet people, because I would want someone to meet me because of me, not because they hear that I win awards and stuff like that. So I didn't really know who he was in that sense until a classmate of mine saw us talking, and she was like, "Oh, you're talking to Simon. He's a sports journalist." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know." And it was very interesting that within like 3 months, Simon messaged me on Facebook one day, and he was like, "Oh, there's something called Prime Minister Youth Award. You should sign up." And I didn't know what Prime Minister Youth Award was, to be honest. And I said to him, "Okay, you can probably nominate me or stuff like that." And he was like, "Okay, I'll nominate you." And what's interesting about this was that um, so on it was like the deadline was on Wednesday, and my neighbor, Miss Dawn, she carried my nomination on Monday, but the place was locked because she was leaving work and you had to go in at a certain time. And then she said she's carrying it in Tuesday, and by Tuesday she carried it in. So it was like a day before the deadline. And then when when I got selected as shortlisted rather, I was just happy and I was just honored, because I'm this girl from Portmore, like unknown pretty much. I don't have access to these things, and I'm just excited to just even be shortlisted. I'm not even thinking of winning. It's not that I doubted my capabilities or anything like that. It's just one of those moments where you're just in awe and you're just enjoying the moment, and that was what was going on. And so when I went for my interview, and I and so forth, and then on the day we got to go to Jamaica House, I got to meet Portia Simpson Miller. I got to meet all type of people, who were Governor General, people, people, different personalities, and all these wonderful nominees as well, like Javon Francis, and all these people that were pretty much well known in their field. I was just basking in the moment. And then, I heard my name, and I had papers in my lap, and they all fell, because I saw people turn around looking at me, and a guy hit me, and he's like, "Get up, your name just call you one." And it was so funny. It was just one of those moments. And I'm going up there, and I start walking fast because I'm nervous. And then at the same time, I remember, the directors, they were saying, "If you hear a name, don't start walking fast, start walking slow." And so that ring back in my head, and I start walking slow, and I was like, and I went up, and then Portia, she kissed me on both cheeks, and I was just so shocked, like I'm wondering what's going on, like, this is crazy. How did I win the most prestigious youth award in the country? Like, I'm like, how did this happen? And from there on, I was thrown into the media, basically, because from there on, TVJ was calling me, CVM, radio, Gleaner, Observer. It was just crazy. Like, all these people just, interviewing me, and I became like this sensation on campus. Like, pretty much everybody just knew me there, and I'm like this very shy, introverted girl. I'm like, people are just coming up to me, and they're like, "Whoa, I'm so happy for you," and people are just genuinely happy, and it was just crazy. And then it's almost like 3 months after it sinked in that I won, because within that moment I still I still didn't, like, it just didn't sink in. And there on, yeah, I couldn't process it. Like, it was just too unreal. Like, you just can't believe, like, did I really win this? Am I amongst the most talented of, youngsters in Jamaica? Like, Jamaica has a lot of talented youngsters, like, very, very gifted, and the Caribbean overall. So to be amongst, like, the elite is just one of those weird things. Like, I'm saying, this can't be real. And there on, I immediately I snapped out of it, and then I started really putting in the work, and I went on some very big shows like Yes as a Far Right. I went on his show, the Poetry Festival, and then I went on this poem festival by Rastakura, and I started meeting people like Mota Baruka, who is like a biggest fan of, and I meet like Uko Anoro, and like I'm meeting all these phenomenal poets. I met G. Binta Breeze before she passed. I eventually started working with Lana Goodison, like in her program, and this was just crazy. Like, I'm just looking at, like, I'm like, oh, is this happening to me? And I met like people like Cherry Natural, and I met other poets like Richie Innocent, Wise Words. Like, there were so many poets. Like, my world opened up, and I met a lot of people, and I just felt loved. And from there on, I've been really, I went on to publish 2 more books, Black Gold and from Babylon System, Liberation of Mind. Pearls Among Stones is pretty much like a mixture of poems, because it's my first book, so I wanted to give people like a variety of what I can write. And then Black Gold was more geared towards, about African upliftment and beauty and stuff like that. And then all from Babylon System, Liberation of Mind, is more of a radical approach, because I'm now seasoned into what drives me, and what I social injustice and anything that deal with social and deal with upliftment of my people. That's something that I write about. I can write about anything, but this is like my mission now. Like, I know what my mission is. I know what I need to write on. And from there on, I went on to win awards. So this is kind of weird. So I went on a school tour with Malachi Smith, and I was recommended by legendary Cherry Natural. And I went on, and I was, as I said, I was very shy. I was like, I couldn't grow to that. But by the end of the tour, which is really not for we the poets, it's more for the children. But it turns out that it had a twofold, because it started to help me as a poet. That school tour opened me up and allowed me to go on different stages, some massive stages, because we went in schools, and we went on their stage, and we went in some classroom, which taught me the difference between like a very small classroom in terms of my voice control, and also when I go on stage in front of a whole school. Like, it taught me so many things. And by the end of the tour, like the last day, I really came alive, and the poets were like, whoa, Valaire, you really came alive. You're coming out of your shell. And I felt very inspired, and I felt motivated. And I said, this is definitely my mission, and I definitely need to continue. I still not thinking awards same way, because I don't do these things for awards. But awards is a plus, it's a great thing. And so I went on and started working very hard, going on different shows and stuff like that. And then, as you know, the coronavirus came. And I'm thinking, whoa, I can't go on stage anymore. But everything was happening virtual. And at the time, I wasn't really doing anything much virtual. And I didn't know how that feel, because I'm so accustomed to be in front of people, feeling their energy. To be in front of a screen or a camera, it's very weird and different. But I found myself where I started, because I was doing online school as well, that kind of pushed me, because I'm like, I can't fail my courses. So it has to work where we're going to do this online thing. So I had to use different programs. And then I learned about StreamYard, and I started to really push more on my social media pages. And people wanted to see me and wanted to hear me. And so I went on, for example, Bridgewater Festival, which is in America. And then I went on this show in Portugal, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like virtual shows, some of them was like paid shows as well. Like when I got my first payment, especially from the Portugal show, which was in euros, I was like, this is crazy. And then so I'm putting out, and then I got nominated for International Poet by the People of Extraordinary Talent, and I won in 2020. And then in the same year, I won Sarabita Masters Award in New York by Rasatiba. And then if I thought it couldn't get no more crazier than that, in the year 2021, something hit me. I'm like, normally I would be one of those people who's voting for somebody in the IRAMA. When I saw my name, when I saw where it was announced and my name came up, I was like, is this real? Did I really get nominated? And IRAMA is for International Reggae and World Music Awards. It's like the Grammys for us in the Caribbean. And I just couldn't believe, like, I am the second female to be nominated in the category. And I think I'm the youngest ever to be nominated in the category of the Mutabaruka, because that's how competitive it is, and it's definitely male dominated. The only woman to ever won it was Cherry Natural. So I was hoping to, definitely win. But, big up my friend from Zimbabwe, Vachi Kepwe. He won it, and I'm great in support. Disappointed, yes, but I've moved on from it, and he and I have become extremely good friends. And that's how I am as a person. Like, I don't hold grudges. I don't think anything is given to me. I believe you have to work hard and, put out your best work. And by the end of the day, my mission is to empower and inspire people through poetry and use it as a testimony. So awards is a plus, but it's not something that I'm doing it for, because if you're doing it for that, then you have lost your mission, in my opinion, because the awards are inanimate objects. They don't give you the ultimate feeling. And when you go in front of someone and you share a piece and they're crying and they're telling you that, that changed their life, or that inspired them, or that stopped them from suicide, it's just unbelievable when people come up to me and tell me that, hey, I listened to your poem, Silence, and it spoke to me. And I'm like, whoa, the power of words, words, sound, and power. So,
Yeah. So, very, very, very powerful statements you made there, one of the things that I would wish to do is to try to link you with some of the poets and the young authors in Trinidad and Tobago, because I know a few of them well, and they're struggling with getting this stuff out. Some of them still contemplating how to go about doing the publishing thing, etc., etc. So your experience would certainly help them. Another thing that I take note of, is the need for us to network as a group of international people, regardless of what part of the world we are from. We in the Caribbean, have a kind of kinship, so it should be easier for us Caribbean people to work together. But that shouldn't stop us from networking with people in the global village, as we say. So I'm really glad to hear that you have been doing that, and it has been bearing some fruit. I'm going to ask you to do one more of your pieces, all right? But before I do that, what advice would you give to a young would-be author, just briefly?
Well, if one have access to internet, right? And if I don't have access, because there was a time when I don't have access. So if you don't have access, I would tell you to use that time wisely in owning your craft of writing as much work as possible. And if your country have a local newspaper, you can probably write to them first. because that was the first thing I did. So I sent my poems to Gleaner. So Gleaner was ultimately the first, organization or publication to publish my work before anyone else. So they definitely get the props for that. If you have access to internet now, which is to me is like that's open a lot of doors. You would definitely first you go on LinkedIn, which is a more for business professional, because what you will eventually become a business professional in what you're doing if you want to be an author. It's seen as entrepreneurship. It's seen as a stream of revenue, and that's where you need to start thinking. Also, you have to think about copyright, and that is one of the most important things. Copyright. A lot of people steal people work, so you have to know what is the copyright agency in my country. You also have to know the different copyright. So you have like a thing called poor man's copyright. You have like copyright in terms of if you're publishing a newspaper or you're published in video, and there's ways you can do your research. Also, you spoke about networking, Nerukhi. Networking is definitely very vital. You can definitely network on Facebook, you can network on Instagram. You will have to know your audience because Facebook and Instagram have a different type of audience. So you will have to know the audience that you want to reach out with. You will definitely have to do some research in terms of Google. So you're going to Google, find out like different um, anthologies and send in your work. There's also YouTube, like if in terms if you're planning to do performance. Because I'm thinking all works, you don't have to limit yourself saying I'm just an author and I'm just going to read my work. You probably want to be a spoken word performer as well. You want to sell, you want to do an album, probably win spoken word album in Grammy. Like to me, don't limit yourself. Think wide, think large, but definitely start small. So you will definitely start, looking through to YouTube and seeing how others perform as well. But definitely for books, you definitely have to do your research. Research is vital in terms of copyright, in terms of publishers, and social media is definitely a way to network. If you're not sure, as in like probably you don't know any poets or whatever, you can start by following some poetry sites. So like you have like Button Poetry, you have some publication like newspaper. So start doing your research on that, and eventually, since social media work off an algorithm, eventually, things will pop up. That would be my advice.
Very good, very good. So we're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we're gonna hear Sister Antonia with one of her pieces, and then we're gonna be winding up. This is Nerukhi. It's just good vibes on a Wednesday. So we're back chatting with Sister Antonia. Antonia, can you share a piece with us again?
This one is titled Revolutionary Minds. I want you to think positive today. Speak up when you have something to say. Stand up and let your voice be heard whenever injustice knocks at your door. Do not be afraid to cry out for mercy. Do not be afraid to cry, so the world may be at your knees. Do not be afraid to be vocal, whether foreign or local. Do not be afraid to challenge the stagnant system, whether by voice or by the written work. Let our hearts beat as one with the Congo rhythm. Sing out the great reggae legend philosophy, Bob Marley. One love, one heart. Let us get together and feel all right. I and I is a woman of righteousness. Everywhere me step, jobless, me radical. Every vagabond has to scatter, as the power under which I dwell is internalized. Out of me the Almighty specialize, and their wicked cult can never suffice. So open up your eyes, do realize, take away the cobwebs and remove the mask of disguise. See, I prophesy. Paint away the graffiti of one's mind. Remove the zinc fences and cardboard boxes that tries to manipulate. See God and see the devil when he masquerades. Realize his plan, his advocates, and be aware. It is a physical, a spiritual warfare. Soldiers, put on your armor, prepare for war. Keep your mind open, keep it secure. The gateway to your soul. Protect it with spiritual intervention. If you don't, illusion, delusion, difficult situation under the system's manipulation. All on herbal spiritual meditation and revolutionize, modernize this your mind. Give thanks.
Yes, 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 my sister. Let me say a very, very, very special thanks to you for coming and sharing of your very beautiful energy with us tonight.
Yes.
On our culture, our vibes. Let me wish you all the best, continued success, continue making the world a better place.
Indeed.
And sometimes we take for granted the little things that we do, particularly as artists. That bringing a positive message, bringing a positive vibe can really, really assist people, take them from one place to another, and prevent them from doing some negative stuff, So I really want to thank you for making that commitment to help to make the world better. Continue what you're doing.
Yes.
You're doing a wonderful job. Blessings to you, blessings to your mom, blessings to your family, blessings to all your support staff, blessings to the people of Jamaica.
Yes. And big up St. Catherine, Portmore, Spanish Town, I.
St. Catherine, I, yes.
Yes, man, Nerukhi. It's a great honor. And, as I said, we have known each other virtually for years. And it's beautiful that we can come together and, collaborate and really share in each other's heart. I definitely appreciate that love. And, it's a great honor. Big up the people in Trinidad and Tobago. It's lots of love and respect, most definitely.
Yes, so blessings to you, my sister. And certainly this is not going to be the first time, God willing, that we're going to be doing this.
Yes.
So keep doing the thing, keep sharing the link, and let's try to get more and more people into the loop, into the family, into the network, as we continue to try to help to make the world better. Thanks again, my sister. You have a blessed night.
Same to you as well.
So we end tonight with another piece by Sister Antonia Valaire.
Injustice as my color by Antonia Valaire. My truth does not compromise. It does not surprise.
Yeah, my sister.
Yes.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate, and I'll definitely share the link with other poets for you to interview them, like Wise Words and Rich Innocent.
Yes.
Those are my great friends. So, and not only is it poets alone you're interviewing?
No poets, musicians, Wednesday's poetry night, right?
Yes.
You know, I'd really love to interview one of the young reggae stars in Jamaica. The program. So make your links and you'll see what happens, right?
Okay, no problem. Yes, have a safe night now.
Okay. Same to you. Blessings, my sister.
All right. So, guys, that was the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be sharing this on Facebook, and I really big up everyone who is tuned in, who is supporting, and we definitely have to continue the mission, and we just pray this coronavirus end. But while it is still going on, life is still going on. So I encourage people to reach out to each other, share, inspirational message, encourage each other in their different art. And art don't only compasses only like poetry and music. Like art is in life. So people doing gardening, that is an art. Art can be anything that you want it to be, and definitely encourage each other. Sometimes checking in on someone, it really do wonders. Not only in this time coronavirus, but definitely beyond. Because I've been on the road where I just tell someone in the morning and I look on them face and I realize that it brings so much joy, and I'm like, it was just a morning. Like I didn't I didn't think of it that big of a deal. But then I start to realize it's just like when my friends sometimes just call me, especially like a Barrington. Big up yourself, Barrington. Like Barrington would just call me and he's like, hey, Valaire, what's up? What you doing? And just checking on you. And I said to myself, that really feels good that someone care. Someone is checking in on me. And, like if I'm not feeling well or they just want to talk. And, it's just a beautiful thing when human beings can communicate and we can advise and we can share in each other's struggle and can share in each other's greatness as well, because life is indeed a journey, and people, you can't be on a journey by yourself. No man is an island. The journey encompass people, and I can definitely tell you that along my way, as much as I sit down and I write my work, to move from point A to point B was because of people. I could not have gone nowhere without people. So the big up people, who, carry me on the journey. And I definitely appreciate. So big up on yourself straight. So next time we talk again.